everyone, welcome back. My name is Shagun Namada. I am the founder of shagunnamada.in, which is your one-stop shop for online classes on anti-money laundering, transaction monitoring, screening, due diligence, and other risk-related topics. So today's video is going to be very interesting because we are going to see the usage of artificial intelligence tools to prepare a portion of your resume versus how a human does in the conventional method. Yeah. So we just draft a portion of the resume, a paragraph wherein you're expecting AI tool to write that you were previously in a subject matter expert role for a transaction monitoring team, and the role was to provide you expertise for various regions like MENAT, Europe, and the UK and other countries. Yeah, and then we'll compare it with the one which is written by a human. Okay, so out of the two, to judge which is the best one, we'll be using three parameters. First is the quality of the output, and the second parameter is the effort or the time taken, and the third parameter is the result is as expected by you, and it can be used in your resume. So let's begin. All right, so as you can see here that I have asked ChatGPT of Perplexity in this case to write a paragraph on subject matter expert for transaction monitoring for various regions and across all banking products. Okay, so you can see the output here. It says the subject matter expert or an SME transaction monitoring for various regions and all across banking product plays a pivotal role in ensuring financial institutions comply, blah blah blah. So this is basically, it is nothing but a generic overview of the type of work or the role or the job description of a subject matter expert. Okay. Then what I did next was I asked Perplexity to put this in a resume format. Yeah. Uh, and then to look at the output again. Subject matter expert, transaction monitoring, global regions and banking products, key responsibilities and achievements. So you can see it has put this into a bulleted format. But again, you can see there are a lot of generic words being used, like ensure compliance with global and regulatory requirements. Yeah, possess deep expertise in anti-money laundering, counterterrorism. So pretty much generic statements. Okay. So if I'm the subject matter expert, or if I'm, the recruiter or the interviewer, I'm going through this resume, I could immediately spot that these are generic statements and probably made using some kind of a AI tool. Yeah. So we'll look into the details of this later. And then what I did was, because it is still generic, I mentioned that can you add regions such as MENAT, UK, Asia Pacific in the resume, and add ABC Limited as the company. Okay, so this is the output. Again, it says subject matter expert, transaction monitoring, ABC Limited, key responsibilities achievement. Now you can see this is added the regions as well, like MENAT with the countries: Middle East, North Africa, Turkey, UK, Asia Pacific, North America, Europe, and then followed by your generic statements. Okay. And then you can see the next page is also full of generic statements with those bullet points: collaborated rules and else venture effective detection, collaborated with global and regional, blah blah blah. So you can see a lot of generic statements we used. Then move on to the next one. Then I said how to highlight your experience with ABC Limited. Yeah. The question I asked was, how can I highlight my experience with ABC Limited in my resume? Then you can see the answer here. I start with a brief summary, then list the key responsibilities and achievements. Yeah, and then followed by again generic statements. Yeah, as you can see here. Okay. So now here's the funny part in the generic statements. Okay. So you can see customize and optimize time and motion study for all banking products, include retail banking, commercial banking, and correspondent banking, and blah blah blah. And collaborated with cross-function teams, compliances, technology to implement. These are pretty generic statements. Okay. Directed investigations and quality assurance processes. So if you look at these in detail, word by word, this is this is actually the responsibility of the process optimization team and not a subject matter expert. Yeah. And here, when you see quality assurance, we never asked about quality assurance. We asked about subject matter expert. So this is giving me a result which is either suitable to the process optimization team and a few sentences which are suitable for quality assurance team member. Yeah. Now here you see authorized and delivered regulatory reports, proactively monitor regulatory changes, trained and mentored junior analysts. So out of this whole, 4, 5 or 6 bullet points, you see the only sentence which is suitable for a subject matter expert is the last sentence here, which says trained and mentored junior analysts, building a high performance team and fostering a culture of compliance. No, the rest of the bullet points are not at all suitable to a subject matter expert. They are more suitable to a process optimization team or a person who's a deputy MLRO, MLRO, or someone who's from the regulatory compliance team. Yeah. Okay, so now what I've done is I've copy pasted the other generic statements into a Word file. Yes, you can see here the usage of the words. It says possessed deep expertise in anti-money laundering. So possessed is a very wrong word. Possessed means that you are possessed by a ghost or something which is haunting you. So that is called possessed. That means there is a ghost in you and you become possessed. So that's a very wrong word if you put it into context. Now see, oversaw the implementation, optimization, and tuning of automated monitoring solutions. That is not the role of a subject matter expert. Yeah, and then the other ones in real-time monitoring capabilities into transaction monitoring processes. So none of the transaction monitoring processes are actually real-time. They are only post-transaction monitoring processes. So again, that statement does not make any sense. Then again, you can see lead investigations, quality assurance, and regulatory reporting. I never asked about quality assurance and regulatory reporting. Then again, it is again talking about risk coverage and regulatory compliance across all jurisdictions and banking products. So this resume does not suit a subject matter expert. Yeah, and a lot of times what happens is the investigators or the candidates basically who are applying for these roles or for any other role, they just use these AI tools to generate a resume, and they won't even go through the resume once. Yeah, and then they end up in a big trouble when the the interviewer asks the candidates questions from what is written in the resume. Yeah, so yes, it's a big letdown. All right, so let us see what my expectations were. Yeah, so my expectations were this simple. Yeah, product trainings and line of businesses, knowledge of transaction monitoring, ABC Limited. So operations subject matter expert, the word as it is. Yeah. Then for so and so, so and so, so and so countries, yeah, and implementation of so and so. Or you might say that how would the AI tool know that these are the countries and this is what is supposed to be put in. So that is the reason when you know these countries and you specifically know what you have done for that organization, what was your role, what responsibilities have you done. So it is better you write it on your own. Yeah. Now you see from effect point of view, first you had to get a brief paragraph on what is a SME. Okay, then you have to ask that to put into a resume format. Then you have to ask the tool to add a few countries, and then you had to ask the tool blah blah blah. Okay, so that was a time consuming process, and the result was very long, too many sentences, too many generic statements, which was not at all of any use. Okay, and believe me, none of the recruiters have so much of time to actually go through such a lengthy resume. Now, what you see in front of you is exactly what you have done. Very short, highlighting everything, in just two bullet points, as you can see. So this is what I call a effective output. Okay, which is easy to read, easy to understand, and it is a true reflection of the work which you have done in the past as a subject matter expert in this particular case with ABC Limited, and those are the regions or countries. Now you might be thinking that okay, that's fine if the AI tool is writing something extra. How would the recruiter even know that you have used the AI tool? Okay, so what I've done is I've asked Google, okay, as to uh, is there any way the recruiters will be able to find out whether the resume is made using AI or not? So here's the answer. Pretty interesting. It says yes, companies can often identify resumes generated or heavily edited by AI. Yeah. So though it can be subtle, recruiters or hiring managers can use various techniques to detect AI generated resumes. That is exactly what I was talking about. You can see here, including looking for generic language, repetitive expressions, unnatural sentence structures, and its lack of personalization. Some companies even use AI detection tools. So obviously the resume made by AI tools get rejected immediately. So if you have been applying to various companies for various positions in the past and never wondered why your resume is not getting selected, it is because of this reason. Yeah. Then you can see repetitive language and phrases being used. These are the signs that a resume might have, which is generated by AI. So repetitive language and phrases, generic language, lack of personalization, unnatural sentence structures, yeah, inconsistent tone, lack of detail, and how companies detect AI generated resumes. So recruiters who are experienced, so obviously I've got a lot of experience in this industry. So the moment I look at a resume, I'll be able to know that it's made using AI based on factors like inconsistent tone, generic statements being used. Then some of the companies also have AI detection software to analyze text and identify patterns that suggest AI generation. And then review by multiple people within the organization. And the last one is human interview, which I spoke about earlier, that the more you write in the resume, the more generic statements you use, the more you are in trouble, because the recruiter will instantly come to know that this is generated using AI, and he'll grill you, on those generic statements which have been written in your resume. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you like this video, and if you're interested to prepare a professional resume, please email me or contact me on the phone number which is being displayed below, or you can also WhatsApp me on the number which is displayed there. So see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye bye.